And now to a story that seems to me to be one of the more reprehensible that even A Current Affair has produced in a while. What it called a major investigation, nearly 20 minutes long, that was not only an inflammatory beat-up, but peddled the agenda of big tobacco with only the barest acknowledgement. First, here's British American Tobacco's Australian boss David Crowe weighing into the government's proposed plain packaging legislation last month.
In fact, in our view, this bill will backfire on the government and lead to more people smoking.
Huh? How? Well, according to a study by consulting firm Deloitte, funded by the big three tobacco companies, 16% of the current market is illicit. Unbranded, untaxed tobacco, so-called chop-chop, and counterfeit branded cigarettes. And if BAT can't differentiate its products by branding, it argues,
we will be forced to lower price over the short to mid-term to compete with the illegal tobacco market. It's driven by crime syndicates, it's driven by the triads, it's driven by the underbelly of the smuggling world.
And it's bound to get worse, said Mr. Crowe. It's a line that's been treated with scepticism by his opponents.
He's been reading too many John Grisham novels. There's no evidence to support that.
But A Current Affair obviously reckoned there was a good yarn in tobacco smuggling from Asia. So it sent reporter Nick Etchells to Singapore, where he says he stumbled onto a much bigger story. People smuggling, of a kind we've not heard of before in Australia.
We're talking about one of the world's most feared crime syndicates, smuggling people not in leaky boats to the north of Australia, but rather in shipping containers into the very hearts of some of our biggest cities. This from a man who's risking his own life just talking to us. Smuggling people, to you, they're just goods?
To me, it's all the same, just like goods.
Though he was codenamed Angel, Nick Etchells said the man that he interviewed in a Singapore hotel was pure evil. A Mr. Big, we were told, from the Malaysian triads. But A Current Affair produced no evidence whatsoever to support the man's sensational claim that the triads have been smuggling illegal immigrants by the hundred in shipping containers into Australian ports. Customs and Border Protection has told Media Watch flatly,
there is currently no evidence or intelligence that people are being smuggled to Australia inside shipping containers, as claimed on A Current Affair.
Nick Etchells went looking for confirmation from Pamela Kerr of the Asylum Seeker Resource Centre in Melbourne. He didn't get it. She's told Media Watch,
I said to him, someone's having a lend of you. It's just not happening. In all of my years working with refugees and asylum seekers, I have never known anyone to have arrived via shipping container.
Ah, but it has happened, reported Etchells. His story detailed one occasion in 1999 when authorities found 69 stowaways hidden on a ship, though not in a container, off the New South Wales coast. And Etchells went on,
but during this investigation, A Current Affair has discovered that Australian authorities are not above covering these incidents up.
Look, I'm aware that some years ago there were people that were found deceased in containers that came into Australia.
Richard Ginesco is a retired customs officer put forward by A Current Affair as a knowledgeable expert.
The one that I'm talking about came from Africa and it came into Western Australia.
And people were found dead?
That's right.
Why haven't we heard of this?
Probably because you haven't looked, Nick. The incident also happened in 1999 and wasn't covered up by anyone.
Body likely to be stowaway.
A decomposing body found in a sealed shipping container at Largs North yesterday is believed to be that of a Tanzanian man.
A one-off incident, one man in one container, landed in Fremantle and then shipped by rail to Adelaide. A sad story that had nothing whatever to do with organised people smuggling. We asked Richard Ginesco if this was the incident he was referring to on A Current Affair.
Yes, I think so. It was a long time ago, so I'm not sure on the details.
As for ACA's story about a major people smuggling operation from Asia, Mr. Ginesco had this to say to Media Watch.
I don't think it's viable. I would be surprised, and so would a lot of other people, if there was an organised smuggling operation into Australia via container.
So who exactly is Angel? And how did Nick Etchells discover him? Well, he told us that in the story.
British American Tobacco investigators offered to put us in touch with an Asian crime figure who from time to time provides them with information in exchange for money. He wasn't paid for our interview, but much like our Australian gangland figures, seemed to very much enjoy the opportunity to gloat.
So, Angel is a paid informer for British American Tobacco. And he dutifully fed Nick Etchells the BAT line about the wicked triads.
According to Angel, it's their well-oiled tobacco and drug smuggling programs that provide the template for people smuggling. And lately, Australia has become big business. Tobacco smuggling into Australia, is it getting bigger as an industry?
If the price of cigarettes now keep on going up, obviously the business is getting better.
And next thing we know, we're in Hong Kong, where, Nick Etchells tells us,
Posing as an Australian criminal, I've got a meeting arranged with an illegal tobacco trader named Howard.
arranged by whom? Etchells didn't tell his viewers. We asked BAT if it had arranged the meeting with the mysterious Howard. It confirmed it had worked closely with ACA on the story, but referred us to the programme for details. We asked ACA without result.
The deal is 2 containers of counterfeit Winfield Blues. How close to that can you get?
100%.
But we'd be very surprised indeed if this meeting, secretly filmed from multiple angles, wasn't set up by BAT like the one with Angel. Listen to this.
Next year, when plain packaging comes in, the box will be even easier to counterfeit.
BAT's message, plain packaging will lead to increased tobacco smuggling, kindly relayed by A Current Affair. Never mind that according to the Deloitte report, counterfeit brand name cigarettes represent only 4% of the illegal tobacco trade. While BAT's role in ACA's story remains shadowy, Australian Customs gets a shellacking from Nick Etchells. He accuses them of refusing to respond to his people smuggling revelations.
I've counted somewhere in the vicinity of 40 press releases Customs has put out so far this year on their achievements. On these allegations, though, they've flatly refused to get involved.
Angel alleges that the triads have corrupted customs officers in the ports.
We contact the Australian Customs that we have a relationship with. So once they are contacted, they facilitate to release the people.
And Tracy Grimshaw made this statement at the end of the segment.
Given the serious nature of the allegations being made here, last month we invited Customs to look at our tapes. Initially, they declined. Today, we heard from them again.
Customs and Border Protection gave Media Watch a very different version of events.
Between the 17th of May and the 7th of June 2011, Customs and Border Protection made several requests to A Current Affair to provide detailed information on the allegations. A Current Affair provided Customs and Border Protection with their vision on Wednesday, the 8th of June 2011, the day after the program went to air.
Customs also asked ACA if they'd paid any of their sources in money or kind.
The answer to that is no.
But when we asked BAT if it had paid any of the sources, it told us to ask ACA. We did, and so far we've had no response at all. I think we need a new name for sensational stories devoid of any evidence except for the claims of shadowy people who are the paid informers of tobacco companies. Maybe we should call them BAT-ups, spelt B-A-T.